The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Get ready for fun in the paranormal with your host, Richard SPASOFF, on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
Thank you, and I love that introduction, everyone. Happy to be here tonight, and I have two wonderful guests. Let me tell you what's going on before we introduce anyone. The first half hour, we have Shawn Graham. He's going to be talking about his out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, all types of things that he has in mind. Next guest, we have a wonderful lady, Kimberly O'Connor, coming on for the second half hour. And boy, does she have a surprise. She has a bunch of paranormal experiences, even one including being abducted by an alien. And I can't even get a date. Oh, geez, I tell you, my life's been so weird. My whole life's been a paranormal experience. I mean, I tried marriage one time, but it lasted for 29 days, I tell you. I mean, only because she was in a coma. Anyways, everybody, let's start off with a little bit. I have one of my old mob stories I'd like to share with you before we introduce our first guest. I remember when I used to work for different brothels in Tijuana. This was the upscale part of town, the red light district, an area that you don't want to be in. I mean, I'm just walking down the street with my massage table, and I tripped over a dead body. That's pretty bad. I mean, this guy was not only dead, but I thought he might, I thought a good massage could help him out. I don't know, everybody, but okay. I'm hearing somebody else's voice on there, so we might be getting some paranormal experiences right now. Okay, guess we're okay, everyone. Anyways, onward with the story. I had to give this lady a massage that lived in a big cardboard box. Now, isn't that strange? I mean, she had no electricity in her home, no sink. I brought in the massage table, and this giant box that she lived in, it was a wooden frame that was covered up with cardboard. And on the inside of the home, she had a dirt floor, and I had the massage table set up in her house. I gave her massage. After we were done, she gave me a tip. And I tell you, that was the weirdest experience I ever been through. But we're going to bring our first guest on, which is Shawn Graham. Are you there, Shawn?
Yes, I am, Richard. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I think I heard some dogs in the background. I wasn't sure if that was a spirit or an animal trying to communicate with us.
I don't know. I don't have any dogs or anything around me.
Okay, good. I don't know.
All I've got is coffee.
Oh,
that was coffee.
Same here. We got some. Anybody wants to have some coffee? We have some extra in the kitchen. All you have to do is come over to Escondido, and we'll serve you. But anyway,
I'll be there in about 24 hours.
That should work out great. Shawn, you have some wonderful experiences to share. And one is a near-death experience where you were in a car accident. You want to explain to them about that to begin with?
Oh, let's see. Back in 2015 in November, about 7 days before Thanksgiving, I was in a car accident, and about 7 days later, I wound up in an emergency room with a infection called necrotizing fasciitis in my left leg. And a friend of mine, the surgeon, he told me that I'm also a medical professional, was my physician, my surgeon, said, well, you got about 30 to 40% chance of even surviving taking your leg off because the necrotizing fasciitis had eaten my leg up to above my knee. So I did, apparently I should have screamed and said, oh my God, I can't do this anymore, kind of stuff. But this wash of calm just came over me and said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is it. And said a prayer and then closed my eyes after they give me some rather fantastic drugs. And so after that, my near-death experience started.
Well, before we get into that, let's tell people that your background. You were a lung therapist, and you were in charge of some sleeping labs at many. You were the director, right?
Yeah, I was in administration over about 6 sleep labs, and I was a respiratory therapist for right at 20 years, 18, 19 years, something like that. And the amputation of the leg kind of put an end to all that stuff. So
now at that time, you would never believe that you would have gone through this experience, huh?
Nope. I had no clue other than I knew I was going, after being told I had a 30 to 40% chance of even surviving the amputation. I thought it was the end. And I had no clue before I went in that this was all going to happen. No clue.
Well, you know what amazes me about you is your faith and how strong you are and what you've been through. And you still have, I do too. I've been through a lot as well. We're both the same way in that way. But you have a lot of faith inside that has, this thing that you went through has even brought you closer to God, right?
I went in with a lot of animosity, a lot of crazy ideas, and I came out a different man. It certainly has brought me closer to God, that's for sure.
What were you like before? Like, what was your... like?
Well, I kind of believed in God, did say prayers every once in a while, but now, I was a fairly good guy. I tried to help everybody that I come in contact with through my medical profession of being in sleep lab medicine. And after that, I thought I was a fairly good guy. And I looked back at it, and I was like, wow, I wasn't that much of a good guy. But now I woke up literally, figuratively, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. I have the direct knowledge that God exists now. It's not even a question in my mind.
Well, let's go into this now. Let's go into it. What was your experience like?
For what exactly? What was my experience on what? Are we talking about the near-death?
Yeah, the near-death experience when you were in that car wreck.
Well, okay. Well, after I closed my eyes, I went through what I was told I was in a coma for like 13 days, 11 days, 12 days, something like that, almost 2 weeks. Okay. But my spirit was not with my body. I knew where my body was, that's for sure. I knew where everybody was all at once. I met God. I met the devil. I went through hell, went through a bunch of other stuff that I could fill an encyclopedia, racks of encyclopedias with what I experienced. I woke up after how many days I was in a coma in a different hospital with nurses surrounding me and saying prayers around me. And I was like, wow, what the heck did I wake up into?
Now, Shawn, you were in that coma for 25 days. Is that correct?
No, I was in that coma for right under 2 weeks. I can't remember. Last time I talked to my sister, she was the one that told me, and some other friends that were respiratory therapists told me too, but I was on a lot of crazy drugs back then.
I think I got to 25 from my marriage, but it was 2 weeks.
So you had a near-death experience with your ex-wife, huh?
Yeah, that's a whole new story. But now, when you were going through the coma, did you experience things?
Well, I met several entities, angels, if you want to put a fine point on it. Met God,
okay,
or re-met God. Met the devil. Met a myriad of God-sent entities. I couldn't even count how many times. And once I get into start thinking about what came first or what came second, or did it all happen at once?
No, don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
What was your experience with God like then? Let's go to that.
God, to be with God is here. I think I'm just about as dumb as a coal bucket. But then, I knew so much more than I did here. It was such a warm, pain-free. I had no question about ever having another pain in my existence after I was in front of God. While there, God showed me so many things that was right, was wrong, was different, indifferent. I asked God just about every question that come to mind about religion, about what's right, what's wrong, that kind of stuff. On top of at the end of it, God and I got in an argument. He wanted me to go on, and I argued with, wait a minute, I need to go back and help these folks. And he's like, well, you just have to wait just a moment. They'll be here. Just a moment. And I went through this myriad of questions and all these crazy ideas about, well, if I do this, I can do that. And God said, no. But more or less is what I got taught was how to be the best me I could possibly be when I came back to this body after he gave in and said, okay, you can go back. Well, he didn't really say that. He just kind of touched me, and I heard this is going to hurt, and the next thing I was back in the body with a... Oh, am I breaking up? I'm sorry.
No, not breaking up. You were waking up.
I was waking up, yes. I was waking up. I was waking up with a few nurses around me praying with me. I was like, wow.
Geez, now, with all that said, you wanted to come back here to Earth, and you felt the peacefulness in heaven, but you didn't want to leave the family and your loved ones behind. That's cool. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Well, I got glimpses of each of one of those folks' futures, and I said, well, I can help them out by doing this and that for them. And I wish I could outline that here in this podcast, but it'd take way too long for that. Broadcast, though. A broadcast. Broadcast, yeah. Broadcast. We're on the Night Dreams Talk Radio. Yeah, and some AM stations as well. We're all around, but this is a broadcast. And it's with that, what was the devil like? What was the experience with that like? Well, the best thing I can explain, actually, my girlfriend is used to be in car dealerships. He struck me as a used car salesman, the best one ever. You just want to go out and have lunch with him and BS with him all for hours, kind of stuff. But he hid a bunch of stuff. When my experience with the entities and stuff and the angels and whatnot, they had the ability to share just about every experience they wanted to share with you instantly. You just you popped out